Hello, and welcome to today's podcast. I'm Roger Foisy, the principal lawyer at Foisy & Associates. I'm joined again today by Harpreet Sidhu, Russell Aloshi, Celia De Silva, and Daniel Berman. If you've ever renewed your car insurance and just gone with the default policy, know that you're not alone. But what if I told you that the standard policy doesn't come close to covering what you'll actually need if you're injured in a serious motor vehicle accident? That is more so true after July 1st, 2026. Today, we're talking about something we think every Ontario driver should know: why it's critical to have optional benefits as part of your Ontario automobile insurance policy. Let's start at the beginning. Russell, what are these optional benefits anyways?
Well, in Ontario, there's a lot of standard benefits that come that are enshrined in the statutory accident benefits schedule. Those benefits you don't have to select, at least not until June 30th of 2026. However, come July 1st, 2026, most benefits are going to be optional coverage. So what was already included in your policy will mostly become optional. The only two that do not are medical rehabilitation and attendant care. Other benefits that are now standard, like income replacement, death and funeral benefits, housekeeping, which will only become available if someone is catastrophically impaired, those are no longer going to be included in the policy. Now, mind you, at present, prior to July 1st, 2026, there are optional benefits that you can still purchase. Those have been in place since about June of 2016.
Okay, so Celia, maybe you can help our viewers understand, what if you renew a policy after July 1st, 2026? Will your insurance company be required to at least quote you for the same benefits you had before then?
The short answer is yes. For the next year, every insurance company has to do that when a policy is renewing. However, it's still very good practice to review your policy to ensure that all the benefits that you had prior to July 1st, 2026 are still effectively on that policy that you're renewing.
Okay. Harpreet, Russell talked about medical rehabilitation and attendant care benefits as being included as an automatic from July 1, 2026. My understanding, though, is that those benefits could have been optional even now. What do our viewers need to understand about that?
Yeah, currently, the optional benefits that we all have before July 1, 2026 include the ability to increase your benefits. So, for example, medical rehabilitation benefits. Right now, the standard that everybody receives from their insurance company, unless they purchase the option, is $65,000 for their medical rehabilitation attendant care benefits, or 5 years, whichever comes first, and $1 million for their catastrophic benefits. If you made the decision to purchase an option to increase those benefits, you could actually increase those non-catastrophic limits from $65,000 to $1 million. And the beauty of doing that is that it's not just for 5 years anymore, it's $1 million for life. In addition, you could also increase the catastrophic limits from $1 million to $2 million, which would stack on top of the $1 million you've done for your non-catastrophic, giving you a total of $3 million if you are deemed catastrophic by your insurance company.
So after July 1, 2026 renewed policies, will you still have the option of actually increasing those medical rehabilitation attendant care benefits as well?
Yes, that will continue, but again, it is an option and it may not always be offered by brokers necessarily when you are renewing your auto policy or trying to find a new auto insurer. So it's important that those are questions you are asking wherever you are purchasing your insurance.
So, Russell, I think one of the most important benefits are income benefits that citizens of Ontario rely on now. We know them as income replacement benefits or non-earner benefits. We understand those are going to become optional for policies renewed after July 1, 2026. So why is it important that drivers and homeowners who have vehicles or have children that are living in the house, why is it important that they still consider purchasing optional income replacement benefits?
The reality is, Roger, the current automatic policy includes income replacement benefits up to $400 a week. For most individuals living in Ontario in 2026, that's not enough to cover even rent for the most part. It's already a very low figure, and most clients are shocked to learn the amount that they will receive when they're injured. Everybody thinks they are protected because they have purchased an auto insurance policy. How that's going to change now is the 400 that comes automatic will no longer be there. You still have to elect to purchase the coverage. So what we expect to see a lot more of is victims of motor vehicle accidents showing up thinking that they are protected, but learning after the fact that they no longer have the coverage that they once used to have because they either chose not to review their policy or they chose not to purchase even the optional coverage that can be purchased, which there are tiers from $400, you can go to $600, $800, and even up to $1,000. You just have to have foresight and plan for that eventuality.
Doesn't it make sense if you can afford it that you just purchase $1,000 per week of income replacement benefits? Or is there a reason why you would elect to purchase 4, 6, 8, or 1,000?
Yeah, it all depends on whether you have other coverage available. So if you are already covered for, let's say, long-term disability or short-term disability through an employment policy that your employer might be paying for, you might have 70% coverage there. And then your what you should be aware of is how much coverage will you be eligible for after that deduction is applied to your, because that LTD policy will be deductible from any income replacement you receive in the formula that is calculated in. So yes, it doesn't make sense for everybody to purchase 1,000, but the important thing is to pay attention, because when the incident occurs, nobody expects it, and everybody is then finds themselves unable to afford their living costs for their family.
So we're talking about these optional benefits. Obviously, there's going to be a cost associated with them, Celia. Can you assist our viewers with that?
Sure. First of all, I think people are going to be really surprised to learn that purchasing optional benefits is actually very affordable. For under $100 a year, you could buy optional benefits that protects you and your family. Like, instead of having $65,000, for example, in medical rehab, that opens up your policy to like $1 million. And it's less than a cup of coffee a day. And you have the security of knowing that by purchasing those benefits that you're protected if you're involved in a serious accident.
Now, does it make a difference, Celia, if you are dealing directly with an insurance company or a broker? Can you go to either of those third parties in order to assist you with getting these benefits?
Yes, the information, if you're looking to research it and you want information, you should be able to get that directly from either the insurance company's website, from your broker, from our website, but you should be able to approach any of those three people to get that information.
And if I could just add on to what Celia was saying, yes, your broker and your insurance company should be telling you, but they don't make it easy for you, especially insurance company. In today's day and age, a lot of people will apply online for their auto insurance or renew it online. And if, depending on the insurance company, if you try to renew your auto insurance benefits, you won't see the option for optional benefits. And if you try to select that option, they will ask you to call in. And so we just want people to know that it's not as easy. It is easy to get them, but they don't make it easy for you to find them.
All right. That's a good point, Harpreet. And I think it's important that we also remind ourselves that there are benefits available if there is a fatality involved in a motor vehicle accident. And Danny, what can you tell us about the benefits that are offered currently for a fatal accident claim?
So the benefits offered currently for a fatality claim are funeral and death benefits. So for a funeral, you get $6,000 in benefits, and for death benefits, you get $25,000 for a spouse and $10,000 for a dependent. That's going to be lost, which is very unfortunate. But what people don't know is for less than 1 penny a day for the entire year, you can still have those benefits. So very important to realize that these are, critical things that you lose in the unfortunate situation where you lose a dependent or a spouse, and you need to realize that those benefits are still there for a very low cost.
So it sounds like what we need to leave our viewers with today is that it's really important to start taking a look at your automobile policy renewal, especially if that policy is going to renew July 1, 2026 or later, because all of these benefits outside of medical rehabilitation or attendant care benefits are going to be optional. And it's going to be on you to understand what you need and what you might be able to afford. But as Harpreet has said, affordability is really not as bad as what people may be making it out to believe. You're going to have to be better informed and make those decisions that make sense for your own family. And what's important to understand is that those decisions will change over time. They may change because you're single today but married tomorrow. You have no children today, but you'll have children next year. You may be living with elderly parents who are dependent on you now, but they may eventually pass. So your policy is going to change, and therefore this is something you have to always be considering. Thank you, everyone, for this thorough explanation. Let's have a quick recap. The standard auto insurance policy gives you limited protection. And for non-catastrophic injuries, your funding can run out extremely quickly. Optional benefits allow you to increase your coverage, remove time limits, and secure up to $3 million in medical and rehabilitation, as well as attendant care. The most comprehensive upgrade can change everything for your recovery. So take 15 minutes today. Call your broker, call your insurer, review your policy, and make sure the coverage you have today will protect you tomorrow. And each year you receive your auto policy renewal, take an extra 15 minutes to ensure that you have the protection still in place, and consider any new changes that you may need to inform yourself about. Because when the worst happens, it's too late to go back and change the policy. Thanks for listening to today's episode. Until next time, take care and be safe.